anybody not have a sheet? Raise your hand. Would you like one? Grab it extra. Okay. What's your name?
Can I make a heart with it?
Okay, how about everybody? I'm Lisa Mitzel. Why don't you guys say your first name, what level you're training or competing, and how old you are.
Katarina, I'm competing level 7 and I'm 10.
I'm Jada.
Hi, Jada.
And I'm competing 9 and I'm 15.
And you're 13?
15.
15. Oh, she's a woman. Okay. I love being 15. It was actually and we'll get to this a little bit more in detail. So just a pause for a second here. Who here has ever been nervous about anything? Okay, it should be everybody. Leslie, you can raise your hand too. Who here has ever been afraid of a skill? Who here has ever had a skill and lost a skill? And who here right now is training a skill and maybe struggling with being brave enough to either high beam or go backwards or something like that? Maybe it's even a mental block. Anybody? Okay. So all of these things are super, super common in gymnastics. It's crazy that here we are in 2020 and it's not part of a required coaching development, let's just say. Because you guys know USA Gymnastics has congresses and clinics and coaching things. It should be required that gymnastic coaches learn how to help through mental blocks and fears, right? But they're like, hey, you just did it a minute ago, right? You can do it, come on, just go. They say that, just go. So anyway, when I was 15, I went through a big thing or majigger, and I learned how to deal with it, but it was not easy. Okay, so name, level, age. You could just say Bill 45 7, whatever.
Ida, I'm training level 9 and competing level 9 and I'm 16.
And you're 16? Wow.
I'm Irina. I am competing 8 and I'm 15.
15.
I'm competing level 8 and 14. Ali, competing 9 and 7.
Matt. Okay.
Level 10 and 16. Connor, 9 13. Kira, level 10 14.
But it's comfortable, right? Someday you will be.
Level 10 Isabella, level 10 17. Leah, level 10 17.
Congratulations for anybody who's made it past 15 years old in gymnastics, right? Yeah, goals. Okay. Silver and what? You're 11. Okay. Elsie, gold 11. Your name's Heaven, and you're 11, and you're... Okay, say that 5 times fast. It's what? Diamond. Okay. How does it go? Is it platinum, gold, diamond, silver, bronze? What is it?
Silver, gold, platinum, diamond.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, you're all awesome. So when I competed in the old days, I competed all the way up to elite. So it was Not easy, but even being like level, well, the skills that you guys are doing. Are you guys doing round off back handspring? Are you doing round off back handspring back top? Okay. I remember being afraid. I remember trying to do a good set with my arms up tight. And then for the girls that are doing, you know, some of the bigger skills, release moves and combinations and competition. One of the things that is most important to me is to be able to help you be in tune with yourself. And in gymnastics, we're always listening to our wise coaches, right? And we're always listening to our parents, or at least we hear their voice in our head. And we're on Instagram. Who's on Instagram? Yeah. And what else are you on? You guys do Snapchat, or what else are you on? My daughter set up a Snapchat. I didn't use it very much. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but I don't use those things very often, except for to just do a little bit of business and connect a little bit. Here's the thing: is that who here would like to feel more confident? Yeah. Most of the time, and this is a fact, most of the time when you're looking at other people, you're looking at other gymnasts, you're looking at, you know, somebody on their vacation, somebody with, you know, new hairdo, new clothes, whatever. We actually get off of Instagram, we get off these things, and when we don't feel so good. You know, you look at somebody who's, you know, taller, skinnier, prettier, this, that, the other, more talented, has more achievements, doing more skills, whatever, and then you just start going, oh, what about me? Oh, I'm not doing as good. Oh, I don't look. So we compare ourselves, right? Do you want to see Sweetie? Hi. So we always compare ourselves. And in the gym, who has ever on any day looked over and saw one of your teammates or somebody in the gym do something really good and you were struggling with something and you just didn't feel like good about yourself? Yeah, it's normal. It's normal. We all do it. We all do it. So the thing is what do you want? What do you want? Who here has ever had an injury? I know. Who's had a surgery? Okay. Who's had a broken bone? It'd be silly to say who's had a rib on their nose. But do you feel sorry for yourself every day for the rest of your life because you were injured? No, it's just a period of time, right? And hopefully you're learning that you can actually deal with it in a very positive way. What is one characteristic that you would like to get better at? Patience? Anybody? Who would like to be more patient with themselves? Who rushes themselves, beats themselves up, is not nice to themselves? Are you self-critical? That is a sure sign of a driven person when you're self-critical. Yeah. In mental training, and so I competed all the way through elite. I was at level, when I was level 10, which is similar, it's the same as, it was called something else, it was called class 1 when I did it. I was 15 and I was, 14 and I placed at the nationals, like somewhere in the top 10, I can't remember, it was a long time ago. But it was somewhere in the top 10, so then I was going to train and go elite. So you know when you've made a score, you've done that level maybe 2 times, dude, you're ready to move up, right? And then I was training double backs, and I got lost in the air. Who's ever been in the air, flipping, twisting, you got lost in the air? You're like, where's the air? Where's the air? And all of a sudden it's like, boom, there it is. You hit the ground. Yeah, I got lost and I opened up early, which was not a good idea. So it would have been better if I landed on my face, but that time I landed on the back of my head and upside down in my knees. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So I got a nice, pretty, I don't remember which side it was, big like melon lump, right? So it was a scary accident, and you know it hurt a lot. But the thing was, it was confusing. So coaches, you know this is, and parents, we know this as adults, that whenever we feel confused, that you're not sure what to do. It's sort of like a deer in the headlights. Like, what do I do? Well, when you're flipping and twisting in the air, and you get that, like, whoa, where am I going? What do I do? That's scary because you don't feel safe. So safety is the number one thing in any sport, but especially gymnastics. And then feeling confident and in control of your body, in control of your movement. Exact, set, exact, hold, exact, land, exact, right? Being very clear in your mind, okay? So confusion is very scary, right? So anyway, I ended up losing a whole bunch of my skills, not just that skill, but a whole bunch, over 70%. And it's in the first book. So these are the two books, Focused and on Fire. Anybody here have that? Maddie? You have the first one, which is a different cover. We redid the cover. And that's on the mental skills. So I brought a bunch today for anybody, and I'm going to talk to your parents afterwards. But the story is in chapter 2, and there's like cartoons, and Maddie can tell you about it. But it's how to breathe and relax and get in tune with yourself. Okay? So, she's a superpower, superwoman girl. So I wanted it to be fun to look at when I wrote it, and so I decided to practice my sketching skills. So I illustrated and did all the cartoons. But the thing is that I understand what it is to be afraid in the gym, to have a coach feeling disappointed and frustrated. And they just know that you can do it. They know that. And so that's why they're feeling like, oh, what's wrong? And then they feel stuck. They don't know how to help you all the time. What I learned to do after I got scared and I lost my skills is I learned how to slow down. And we're going to do a little bit of that today. And it doesn't necessarily mean like slow down everything. Slow down your mind, slow down your breath, and start getting clear with just the present moment. Okay. Who has ever been competing a beam routine and you weren't even quite at the end, you had maybe one skill left before you just out and you started rushing and thinking, I want to get off the beam, or I need to dismount. That's right, yeah. Yeah, and that's normal too, is our brains leap ahead. Okay, our brains leap ahead to like wanting to feel done, wanting to be successful. Our brains leap ahead to the score, okay? You know, if I fall, then I get a big fat deduction, right? And in mental training, that word fall or other words are sort of negative buzzwords, and then there's positive buzzwords. So what do you want to focus on? What do you want to focus on? So when I lost all my skills, I was going to quit. And that happens to a lot of gymnasts. They think, you know, I'm not doing good, this is too hard, too many emotions, and then they want to quit. I was really, really, really lucky because then I met a sports psychologist. And, you know, when you think about that you're so afraid. You don't even want to go to the gym because you feel like you're just going to fail, right? Yeah. You're like, why should I even go? It's not working. But there are easy, very simple tools, and we'll do a few today, that you can learn and practice very easily. And it will really help change things. And so I was going to quit, and then I started working with a sports psychologist, and all the tools that you see, there's some here, and then there's a whole bunch of books. And I learned how to notice. So do you guys notice when you start to get nervous? What happens to your body? Like who here gets butterflies and stomachache? I would get the worst. I would be like, oh. Who gets their hair stands up or they get goosebumps or chills? Anything like that? Who gets jittery and you can't stand still and you just feel like shaky? Yeah. Who gets fast heart rate and you're going boom, 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 boom? Yeah. And what about your thoughts? Like just a million thoughts all at once. or your brain goes blank and you feel like, yeah, there's all kinds of, sweaty hands and feet. There's all kinds of signs of starting to get nervous, and that's where you can then start to feel in tune with yourself, okay? This is me getting nervous, sweaty hands, oh, stomachache, oh, starting to get nervous. So then, don't panic. Don't go, oh no, I'm nervous. Just say, okay, so what do I want to feel? Okay, so everybody, let's just practice this, okay? Pretend that you're starting to feel your heart race and sweaty hands and stomachache and jittery, okay? You're all nervous. So you're starting to feel that way. Now everybody go, oh, I'm nervous. Ready? Oh, I'm nervous. Say, it's okay.
It's okay.
This is normal.
This is normal.
Okay? Take a deep breath. Okay? When you take a deep breath, that's like a reset button. Reset, okay? Or it just helps you start to get kind of a little bit calmer and in tune. All right? Say, I can breathe. Say that. I can breathe.
I can breathe.
I can get calm.
I can get calm.
And I decide my thoughts.
I decide my thoughts.
Right. So if you say to yourself, oh no, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, is that going to help you get calm? Probably not. No. So it's noticing, oh, I'm starting to feel nervous. And then you go. It's just normal. It's totally normal. It's okay. Take a deep breath. All right? Actually, being nervous is kind of cool because that means you're not just sitting at home watching TV, right? Or you're not just like this, right? That means I'm doing something important today. All right? You're facing a good challenge. So, at least for competition, I think it's actually exciting. All right, what would you guys like help with? Write it down right now. Something that you would like help with if you're feeling like frustrated about a skill, if you're feeling maybe that you just get nervous too much, if you're feeling like you can't go for something, a certain skill, you're having trouble going for it. What about visualizing? Have you ever visualized your skills? We're going to probably do a little bit of that today. So just write down one thing, maybe two if you want, that you would like some help with. Something maybe you just want to feel more consistent. I need to hit this skill more times. I fall too many times, I miss too many times. So if there's something like that. If you want to be able to manage your thoughts and your feelings at a meet, maybe you start to fall apart. Maybe some people cry when they get nervous. And it's not like a horrible thing, it's just that's their emotional reaction. Most of the things that we are struggling with, then we have some kind of emotion with that struggle. We either feel sad, frustrated, angry. We feel very alone in our struggle. So for your coaches, and for these wonderful, what's your name?
Karina.
Oh, very nice to meet you. For your coaches, one of the things that they can also practice is being more in tune with their emotions and considering what you're feeling. Because that is what actually is going to help you calm down, it's going to help you focus, all right? If their emotions are out of control, if you're not in tune with your athlete's emotion at all, and you're doing your tasks, you're coaching, this is important, We got to get everybody through. We need to do a certain number of repetitions. So, and at any point, if it's okay, you could just say, I'm just feeling emotional right now. I'm just struggling right now. Okay? And then it's just how can we get calm together? It can take 5 seconds. Let's just take a breath and slow down. Okay? And then it's being strategic. What do I want to do next? Do I want to take a step backwards and do a drill? Okay, do a progression? Do I want to visualize that skill? Do I, need a spot, a mat, something like that? But when you slow down, you can actually think more clearly, okay? You can focus much better and you can make wiser decisions. Let's write this down. When I get calm, this is for adults, parents, coaches, gymnasts, when I get calm, I can think more clearly, focus much better, and make wiser decisions. When I get calm, I can think more clearly, focus much better, and make wiser decisions. Daddy, what's your mom say? How long has it been? 2 years? Yeah. I look the same, right? Adults joke about that. We never age, right? All right, who kind of likes even hearing that statement? When I get calm, I can think more clearly, focus much better, and make wiser decisions. Who kind of likes that? You like that too? Yeah. It's very true. So when in the gym, when they're going in a line, like vault or tumbling, or get up on the bars, and you get out of the chalk box, okay? Hurry up, go on beam. If you're feeling tense, okay? Physically, you're tensing up in your head, okay? Then just get calm, even if it's just for 3 to 5 seconds, okay? And the way that you do that is 4 parts, okay? So let's just refer to your sheet for a second, all right? We're going to talk about getting calm and we're going to practice it. The title says the book, Focused and on Fire, right? The Athlete's Guide to Mental Training and Kicking Butt. You like to kick butt? You guys can say, I do. And then it says, get focused, visualize, and perform with confidence. So the 6 mental skills. Who's a pretty loud reader? Anyone? Who likes to read out loud? Okay. So why don't you read, what's your name again, Susan? Abby. This is Abby. Everybody? All right, Abby, stand up for us. I like how you guys are all getting all cozy. All right, Abby's going to read the 6 mental skills.
1, breathing. 2, relaxing. 3, positive self-breathing or self-talk.
There you go.
4, recall. 5, visualization. 6, concentration. Let's focus on breathing, relaxing, and visualizing.
There you go. Thank you, Abby. So let's just quickly go over. So why would breathing be a skill? Anybody? Why would breathing be a skill? I mean, are we breathing right now? I hope so. You're going to have an idea of why breathing is a skill. When you take deep breaths, yeah. Some people take short, quick breaths to get their energy up, okay? But in gymnastics, usually with nervousness and frustration, different things like that, anxiety, you gotta chill out, right? So very good. So it got to be intentional. Intentional means I am going to breathe deeply. I'm going to exhale all the way. I'm going to relax my muscles. I'm going to get calm. So breathing and relaxing go together. We all know what relaxing is. You're kind of doing it right now. But to fully relax is to really loosen and release all the tension in your muscles. Okay? All right. So that's breathing and relaxing. What was the next one? Positive self-talk, Abby? Do you have an idea what that is? What's what you say to yourself? Yeah. Do you ever say good things to yourself? Yeah. What do you say? Yeah. That's the most popular one. Like I can do it, or you can do it. Or I got this. Yeah, people say that. Yeah, you say that. Okay. What are other positive things that you can say to yourself? And coaches, you're more than welcome to chime in.
You know what you're doing, like.
Yeah, yeah. And some people say you, like you got this. I always would say I got this, like because I'm talking to me, right? I'm embracing the me. But you could say it either way. I would typically encourage saying I if you're comfortable with that, but it's whatever you're comfortable with. Okay? Yeah. Any other positive things you might say to yourself?
Take one skill at a time.
Ah, that's good. Take one skill at a time. So that's positive, and that is more instructional, right? You're actually kind of almost like a little coach's voice as you're telling yourself, take it one step at a time. Very good. Okay, this is one of the things that everybody gets quiet, even adults, okay? When I work with coaches and parents, nobody wants to say anything. All right, write down 3 positive things about yourself. Now, let me just give you a tip. 2, I would like 2 to be related to gymnastics. At least 2. If you want to write 3, that's fine. One of them can be like you as a person. Like I'm kind, I'm supportive, I'm dedicated, I'm helpful, I'm super funny. All right, but 2 have to be gymnastics. All right, 2 positive things about yourself, like I have good form, I work hard, I'm flexible, I'm strong, I'm powerful. Something about your gymnastics. I'm consistent. Coaches, you can write 3 positive things about yourself. Oh, yeah, yes. So coaches, as they're writing this down, just as a note, when you are aligned with their strengths, with what they like about themselves, what they feel good about in terms of their body, like if they have long, straight, tight legs on a certain skill, all right, that's an emotional connection for them. That you notice it, that you're in alignment with them, all right? That's what's, see, it's sort of like success breeds success, okay? Connection and confidence in one area will breed connection and confidence in other areas. So if they're struggling in something else, that's okay. They're going to get it as long as you don't kind of like, oh no, all their gymnastics is kind of like, because they're having trouble in one area, okay? Always build on the little things that they feel good about, they like, they're doing well, they're consistent. Even just a handstand, something very simple. You can march around, woo, look at that handstand, ba, 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 ba. All right? Any way that you want, you can write it on a whiteboard. All right? Girls, confidence breeds more confidence. So when you like something about yourself, when you feel good about some things about yourself, your character, all right? This is a study at Harvard. Oh, I'm wearing a Harvard shirt. They don't have a gymnastics anymore. That's okay. See, I was going to wear a Stanford shirt because I used to coach at Stanford University. And then I thought about wearing my Utah shirt because I competed for the University of Utah. And we won 4 national championships while I was on the team. So, and they competed last night and they killed it. They beat Kentucky. But anyway, oh, and Randy Lane, you guys know Randy? He's going to be here, I think. Oh, that's CRO, that's right. Coach Randy Lane. He's going to come by, I think, because we're friends. Anyway, I went and spoke to coaches at Harvard, and they have a class at Harvard University on positive psychology. And what they've learned is that when you focus on your strengths and you feel good about that, you're like, dude, okay? And you feel good, that actually helps you to be confident and grow confidence in other areas, okay? All right, who would like to be brave and say one thing that you wrote down? Okay, you've been speaking, and I'm going to come back to you. All right.
I wrote I'm successful.
Okay, and when you say that, what comes to your mind? Certain
The things that I've accomplished in my master's degree.
okay. Great, great. Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead and share.
I thought I'm competitive.
I'm competitive. I like that.
I said I'm dedicated and work hard.
I'm dedicated and work hard. Very good. Thank you.
I thought I'm positive.
Ooh, very nice. Can you give me, I don't know, a little example?
If I get mad at something or like on a skill, I kind of just leave it at the event, and then when we move on, I forget about it.
Oh, okay, so you can kind of move forward and attack the next thing, be positive. That's also resilience. So people and athletes, and especially in our sport of gymnastics, when we fall, and we do, when you're learning a skill, you're going to have many more misses than you're going to have hits, right? So in our sport, we have thousands and thousands of misses. So being resilient, being able to just go, okay, so if you're gonna, let's just say there was a number, let's say you have to miss 2,000, you know, where it goes off, a skill goes off to the side, let's just talk about, I don't know, back handspring on B. You go off to the side, you split the wrong way, you're laughing. And when you miss, just go, great, that was number 1,599. Only 401 more to go. All right, so you just have to embrace it. It's just part of the process. So being resilient is a very big part of people who are successful. Just being able to move on, being able to feel good, yeah. And again, your emotions are going to be a big predictor of what you will be able to achieve, okay? So if your emotions, if you tend to be more doubting, if you tend to get distracted because you're watching other people and comparing yourself, that tends to predict what you're going to be able to achieve. Not as much. But if you tend to just go, you know, hey, I'm focused, I can do this, and then you fall, and you're like, that's okay, I'll get the next one. That, and you feel good about that, you're feeling determined, that's going to be a big predictor in what you're going to be able to achieve, which would be much more positive, right? Okay. Maddie, you want to share one of your strengths? What do you like about yourself?
How can I work hard?
You work hard. Okay. Anybody else put I work hard? Anybody? Okay. Did anybody say I'm helpful or nice? Okay. Anybody say I'm funny? No? You guys know nobody's funny. Did anybody say I'm smart? Okay, I'm not like saying Harvard smart, because I was never Harvard smart. All right, let's just tackle that for a second. What does it say next on your sheet? 6 mental skills, nerves, we talked about nerves. Oh, and nerves are good. Okay, write down when I'm nervous, or just say something like when I'm nervous, that's great energy. Okay? So coaches, and then for the parents who are coming, I'm going to tell this. being nervous, the nerves, that's energy. That's good. And then you just channel that energy. You just decide how you want to use it. So we don't want, like I was in the bathroom at a meet, and all these kids, these gymnasts are coming in, and then their mom came in, and this little girl, she came in with her mom, and she was, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10, and she was crying, she was upset. And the mom's all, what are you upset about? Don't be upset. Don't cry. Relax. You did good. Has any of your parents said that? Like, what's wrong with you? You say, I'm a human being and I'm having emotions. Because we should never tell another person what to feel, right? And as soon as somebody says, don't do this, what do you think's going to happen?
You're going to get
I know, isn't that funny? I know, I'm rebellious. So you guys tell. So yeah, the best thing you can do is just say, wow, I'm here for you. You know? There's something called empathy. You guys know that word at all? So empathy, for those of you, because I didn't learn it till later, empathy is when you feel with somebody. So if somebody's feeling nervous and afraid, in that moment, you actually remember. You remember when you were nervous and afraid. So if a coach or your parent isn't understanding, just say, do you ever remember when you were nervous and afraid? So having that shared emotion and understanding and caring about that person, that's having empathy. If you're just like, oh, you're scared? Oh, that's too bad. Well, good luck with that. You know, that's having sympathy, and it's not very nice. It's like, oh, you're scared? Well, good luck with that. I always thought that was really mean when somebody just said, good luck with that. All right, so you wrote down 3 things. Being smart. This is something that actually I teach for coaches and parents in particular, is that each and every one of these human beings, each person, they are very intelligent about themselves, even if they can't articulate, okay? Girls, this is also really important in addition, okay, is that us as human beings, our brains don't fully develop until our mid-20s. That's a fact, okay? Your brain is still developing. So for you to be working with coaches, for you to have to be respectful and respond in an intelligent way is not easy, okay? It's not. And you're still figuring out, oh, how do I feel? And how do I want to talk with this person? And do I feel comfortable sharing with this person? Do I trust that this person is going to really honor my feelings? Okay? So for all of you girls who are teenagers, especially with friends, especially with, anybody that you kind of like, all right? Really think about, are they going to honor how I feel? Or am I just trying to kind of like get attention right now? And that's normal too, all right? But in gymnastics, when you're taking risks and you're flipping upside down and you're swinging on the bar and you got to stay on the beam because you don't want to whack your head or straddle the beam. Who's ever straddled the beam? That hurts. Yeah. Then you need to honor that process and you need to know what you're thinking and feeling. This is being in tune with yourself. But you're very, very smart about yourself. You do know when you're starting to feel uncomfortable. You may not be able to share that with somebody and say it, I'm uncomfortable, but you know when you're starting to feel uncomfortable. Yes? Raise your hand if you think you know when you start to feel uncomfortable and you're not sure, you're starting to get nervous, you clam up, you get quiet, you go, and people say you waste time. Like, does anybody say, why are you wasting time? Yeah. Raise your hand if somebody has ever said to you, why are you wasting time? Or look, you're wasting time. Okay. So I tell coaches and parents, don't say that. Because usually it's because you do need to relax for a second. Sometimes you're just going and going and going. It's Coach Randy Lane! Girls say hi, Coach Randy Lane. Come and get a sheet. So sometimes you just do need a break, but other times it's like a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism, and you're nervous. All right?
Hi, everybody.
How
are you?
So that's one of the hard things for a coach is because they're trying to get everybody to be productive and successful. And so they measure that. Coaches will measure that by watching you be physically active, physically productive, taking your turns, making improvements. You didn't fix it. Did you hear what I said? Do it again. Nope, not that time. Okay? So that's what they're trying, that's their job. But part of their job is also to be in tune with you. So if you need to slow down, that's important for you to get calm, for you to continue to be intelligent about yourself. Okay? Everybody write down, I am intelligent about myself. I am intelligent about myself. And if you feel like, and you can even say, my brain is still developing. That's very real and true. So coaches, one of the things that we don't recognize is because they're so brave, because they work so hard, because they seem pretty responsible, they can get in the line, take a turn, get ready for competition, put on the competition leotard. In all, they seem pretty smart, and then they don't do something, and you're like, well, what's wrong with you? So we kind of sometimes get a high expectation, and sometimes we think they should be able to explain, articulate, share, speak up, and they don't. But the coach gymnast thing is that we are the authority. We're taller usually, we're older. We have more life experience, okay, more education. So they're gonna, and we're the boss, we come in and we're setting the tone. So they're gonna have a harder time being able to speak clearly and honestly because they're still trying to figure it out for themselves, okay? Their brain is still developing. They're still developing their own sense of confidence to be able. So we don't want to be hard on them for that. We want to continue to make that human connection so that they feel good, and then that will help them to open up. That will help them to become a leader for themselves. Okay? All right. Who likes writing I am intelligent? You guys kind of like writing that? I did not feel smart when I was a kid, so that would have been hard for me. So I have a sister. Who here has one sibling, one brother or sister? Who has two? Two brothers or sisters. Who has three? Who has four? Who has five? Who has six? So what do you have? How many brothers and sisters?
I have 3 sisters and 3 brothers. Oh, 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
And 2 brothers. Okay. So I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. Yeah. And where are you in the group?
The youngest.
You're the youngest. Okay. So I'm number 3. But wherever you are, even if you just have one sibling, okay? Who here's an only child? Okay. So are you guys like rock stars in the house? You like rule the house? You tell your parents what to do? No. Just say, well, Coach Lisa said. So we, in our families, we even feel compared. They're the nice and neat one, I'm the sloppy one, all right? They're the stupid one, I'm the smart one, okay? You guys are all laughing. We do, okay? We do that, we always. Don't you do that? Randy, did you do that?
Yes. I was the short one.
I was the short one. Yeah. So my older sister, she's 2.5 years older, she went all the way through 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and wahoo! She skipped 5th grade. Completely, a whole year, went into 6th grade, and still got all A's and was the top of her class. Lisa felt like a loser. I'm like trying to get good grades in my grade. So that's why we're Harvard, just to pretend. But we all sometimes don't feel as good about ourselves, as talented, as strong, as smart. So you got to say it. You got to say, I am intelligent, and embrace where you're at today. Okay? You got to say, I am strong, I'm powerful. Embrace where you're at today. All right, so we are going to talk about parts to getting calm. So number 3 says, feel safe and in control. It says, I control my thoughts, my breath, and my body. All right, everybody stand up. You guys work out today? No. Yes. Oh, you guys did back there. All right, say, I control. I control. Okay, somebody was yawning. Let's try again. Okay, ready. I control.
I control
My thoughts.
my thoughts,
My breath.
my breath,
And my body.
and my body.
Okay, close your eyes. All right, now you're talking to yourself. I control.
I control
My thoughts.
my thoughts,
My breath.
my breath,
And my body.
and my body.
Okay, put your hands down at your side. Eyes are closed. Hands are loose at your side. Take a deep breath. Say, I control
I control
my thoughts,
my thoughts,
my breath,
my breath,
and my body.
and my body.
Okay? Now, when you can be in tune with being in control, it starts with getting calm, right? We talked about that. So there's 4 parts to getting calm. All right, so your eyes are closed. Part 1, just say, be still.
Be still.
Good. Okay? Number 2 is just say, be quiet.
Be quiet.
Number 3 is say, relax my muscles to feel peaceful.
Relax my muscles to feel peaceful.
Number 4 is focus on right now.
Focus on right now.
So say right now, my feet are on the floor.
Right now, my feet are on the floor.
Right now, I'm in the gym.
Right now, I'm in the gym.
Right now, my eyes are closed.
Right now, my eyes are closed.
So let's take a big deep breath. We're going to inhale for 4 counts. If you can, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Ready, and inhale, 2, 3, 4. Fill yourself up. And blow out. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. This time bring your shoulders up by your ears and squeeze your fists when you inhale. Ready, and inhale, 2, 3, squeeze your fists, shoulders up, hold it, and blow out, shoulders down, relax your hands, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. If your knees are tight and locked out, relax your knees a little bit, okay? Soften your body. Okay, one more really big deep breath. And inhale, shoulders up, squeeze your hands, tight, rigid, squeeze. And blow out. 2, 3, shoulders down, hands loose. 6, 7, 8. Now everybody say, I am calm.
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 Okay? Open your eyes and look at somebody next to you and say, you are calm. Put your hands up in the air and say, we are calm.
We are calm.
That's right, sit down. Okay, write down on your paper 3 times. I am calm, I am calm, I am calm. Okay, how about, we're right about at the halfway mark. What I would like to do is be very open to anything that is important to you, and coaches, if you want to suggest anything, I'm open to that. So right now, and then when we come, we're gonna take like a 3-minute break, you can get water, go to the bathroom, whatever. And then when you come back, we can also do some visualizing, all right? And we can do some scripting, okay? And that's, I'll teach you what that is. That's being very in tune with the parts of your skills, all right? And if there's any other thoughts or ideas, you can talk and I can help you with that, okay? So let's take like a 3-minute break, 3 to 5 minutes, all right?
Oh, did my Amazon get delivered? Stop it.
We used to do a lot of it at my station. We had Doc Alley coming in all the time.
And is that helpful? Did you use some of the tools?
I definitely did. I still have a bunch of the stuff that we got, and it definitely helps.
So what I've been doing so far is pretty basic. Is it sort of echoing a lot of things that you've already learned? Yeah. What do you think? What do you want to get better right now? Do you want to get more consistent? Do you want to feel more confident? What kinds of things do you want to get better? Your what? Ray? Is that a skill? What's a
It's a to catch up with the
Oh,
I hit on my brain. How dare you? I have
Because when we work the bar, then we're not being patient. It's so jumping around fast, trying to make a combination fast, trying to catch more fast. So, yeah, it's really round the circle of the bone. Oh my. It has to be a lot of things.
No, that is chocolate.
I'm glad that helps. Your brain will grab on slow. Alright? So
that's
think
mine.
about how your brain works. Your brain will work better. It connects with your body better when you're giving it action things to do. Wait. Okay? If you want to go slow, or if you're saying to yourself several times, wait. That's just like going boom, boom, boom. Okay? Instead of boom. Alright?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, sound effects.
You had 7.5.
Me too.
But you need to give your brain action things to do. So you just say wait. That may work sometimes, but you can make it stronger in your mind. So that's what scripting is. It's giving your brain something to do, like giant swing of toes is round, ball, this, that. You know, give your body, your brain. All right. Hi, girls. How you doing? All right, so one of the questions that I asked, that I sort of didn't ask yet, but I just did to a couple that were sitting here still with me, is who's had any kind of practice or exposure to mental skills, relaxing, positive self-talk, visualizing? You have a couple over here. Yeah. And Maddie, I worked with Maddie a couple of years ago. What seems to stand out as most helpful for you for some of the things that we were trying to work on?
Kind of being able to feel myself doing a skill when I'm not. Kind of a visualization, but more from the first person.
Yeah, visualizing first
Say
person.
in my mind when I can see.
Yeah, when you visualize, it's not just seeing in your mind, like if I see in my mind the Cookie Monster, right? He's blue and furry and goggly eyes, right? Okay, but when you see yourself do a skill, okay, who here's watched themselves on a screen, on a video, like iPad or something, and so now you're in the audience and you're watching, oh wow, look, that's me, right? Okay, so that's one way to visualize, is to see yourself in profile, to see yourself on the screen. It's like if you go to a baseball game or a football game and you're sitting in the stands and you're watching the baseball players or the football players, okay, you're in the audience. That's called, I call that third person. That's kind of a disconnect. If you visualize in first person, where you're in the leotard, you're in the screen, right? Your feet are on the beam. You your hands out in front of you. You feel your butt muscles squeeze. You feel your legs and your muscles, your quads, your hams, everything. You feel the sitting position. You feel the extension. All right, that's first person when you're doing it. All right, who visualizes like that, where they're in their body? Okay, we're going to do some of that. That's the most powerful. Okay, your brain, and this has been studied over years. Especially with like Olympic level athletes, but it's been studied over years and years that this is reported to be the most powerful and most successful in terms of knowing exactly, precisely. If I'm standing and I'm getting ready for my series, okay, see where my thumbs are right now? You guys can see them? Okay, some people, they might put their hands like this, all right? Some people might spread like this. Some people might put their hands like this. Some people might start here. Some people might start here. Some people say, no, just start here. And they go like that. All right? Yeah, that's silly, right? If a coach said that to me, I'd go, oh. Anyway, no, we can change it. We're always, we can adjust. But here's the thing. Well, you need to know exactly, all right, exactly where your thumbs, your fingers, your hands are, the positions. Okay? All right, who can do a back walk? Okay. Like if somebody's not real flexible, they might go, right? Okay, got it. Clap for AJ! Alright. Get in a prepared position for a back walkover. Pretend you're doing it on the line. Okay. Cool. Alright, put your hands up. Alright, see where her thumbs and her fingers are? Okay? Alright, now some people turn their thumbs, let me turn your hands in like this. Some put them back like this. Alright? So she needs to know for herself, for Avery, that's exactly where she feels comfortable. Because I don't think in the code of points it ever says exactly where you have to have your thumbs or your hands. It'll just say, vertical or all the way open. Okay? So she needs to also be aware of how open or closed her shoulders are. Okay? Here, 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 hyperextended. All right? She needs to know the feeling of her weight being fully from her toe to her heel. She has a flat foot on the ground right here. Totally flat foot. And then a straight leg. She's tall. And she's got her right leg out and her toe pointed. Okay? Does she feel her muscles tight? All right? And then her chin. Is her chin here, here, here? Where's her chin? So she's going to know exactly what that feels like for her. And then you guys are going to do this too. Okay? All right. Now from here, and this also goes for back hamstrings. Who here is feeling a little iffy on going backwards on beam right now? Anyone? Okay. Is that for like back walkover? Back handspring? What's for you there? Yes. Say, but I will. Do you need to at this stage?
No, but it's like a basic.
That's
when
true.
we have basics, I can't do them.
Oh, okay. I understand. Okay, so put your arms out. All right, so for anybody who's wanting to go backwards and wanting to work on this, all right, this is position 1. Position 2, then, is just her looking up at her hands toward the ceiling and just slightly leaning back like this, okay? So she hasn't moved her legs or anything. She's now getting used to or getting familiar with the feeling of leaning back. Her eyes are now upward. She can see her hand. Can you see her hand? Now why, yes, okay. And then the next position when I'm helping somebody is that then they reach back. You're not going to touch your hands, but you're going to go back and look at the floor, okay? All right, so now she sees where her hands are going to go. All right, I'll come back up. All right. When you can see where your hands are going to go, and you're feeling, oh, there's my top leg, there's my bottom leg, I'm stretched, you feel in control. You feel in control, okay? And then the next position, you would go back and touch your hands and go into the split. All right, let's do just a handstand, okay? All right, so you're backing up this way. All right, so this is in Focused and on Fire. In the visual, well, there's the chapter that's on when if you have any kind of a fear or nervousness. I'll show you guys this. So you can script a skill. So see how there's words for each position? Okay, see how there's words for each position there? By the way, this book is for boys and girls in any sport, but there's a little bit more about gymnastics and I don't know, I guess. Because I wanted you guys to be able, do you guys see that? So there's one or two words for each position. So this is what we're going to do is we're going to script. Okay? So you want to feel like you're in charge of your body and in control and that you know exactly each position. Okay? Now, sports scientists will say that there's 32 positions in the back handspring. Okay, so that's in chapter 5, and that's when you're dealing with something that you have a lot of nervousness or fear. In chapter 7, it's about visualizing. And so, I'm not going to go around, but there's a girl in a handstand, and she does the positions. There's no words, but these are the positions, okay? All right, Avery, show us your preparation going into a handstand. It's probably very similar to the other one. Okay, this is position 1. Now go into a lever where you're holding your back leg up. This is position 2, lever, and then all the way up to handstand, feet together. Okay, I'm going to help her balance. All right, position 3, handstand, and then split on top. Here we go. Now she's going to know exactly where this back foot is. It's not over here. All right, it's not here. She's going to know the feeling of the split, and then this foot here, and then back to the lever. Can you show me the lever again? And then finish. Okay. So what would you guys call each of those positions? Ready? Do position 1. What would you guys call this? What is yours? Prepare? Anybody call it something else other than prepare? Start. Get ready. Okay. All right. And then do you call the next one a T or a lever or something else? Okay, so show us the lever. Okay, so that's position 2, and then up to the handstand. Now, to tell you the truth, if anybody's struggling with a skill and you're at home and you're like, oh my God, and you're at the gym, oh my God, you can call it something else. Okay, split, I'm going to tell you about that, but I don't want to hold her in the handstand. So I would just call this split. You guys can call it what you want. And then back to the lever, and then back. And what would you call this? Finish. Okay, thank you. Everybody clap for it. So I had a girl that I was working with. She was level 9 at the time, and she wanted to go level 10, but she was freaking out on her layout series. She was freaking out on something on bars. But anyway, the layout series, I worked with her for several months, and she even hated her voice. She would just call it series. She'd go, oh, series. And her voice would go, series. I'd say, what was that? She goes, series. Like her eyes would So I go, we need to give that a different name. So I go, what do you love? What's like cool to you? What's your do you have a favorite something? I go like, a dessert or a car, and she goes, ooh, I have a favorite car. And I go, oh yeah. It was, and we pulled it up on a picture. It's this slick race car. It's something like this total sports car that looked really cool. And I forget what it was called. Let's just call it Charlie for right now. So she loves Charlie. Someday she's going to own a Charlie. She's going to drive a Charlie. She's going to be cool in the Charlie, right? So now we called her In series, we called it Charlie. And do you know what her voice did? Charlie. Yeah. Names are powerful and words are powerful. So if you say things like, the word fall, I don't want to fall. That's very powerful. That's an action word. You see or feel. So you don't want to use those words, all right? Now, let's script a skill, all right? Let's just practice and do the handstands because you saw it and it was very simple, and then we'll script one of your skills, all right? So write HS for handstand, HS script. You're going to write this like a grocery list or a to-do list going downward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going downward. All right? 1 is prepare, correct? That's position 1. HS script, you can underline it, you can circle it, you can put stars, happy face, a unicorn, whatever you like. All right. HS, handstand script, underline 1, prepare. 2, lever, is that right? 3, you can write HS or handstand. 4 would be the split. 5, back to the lever. And 6, finish. Okay, so those are the actual positions. That's when your coach is telling you, prepare, lever, handstand. That's when you're talking to yourself. But what do you want to feel or do in the position? Okay? In a prepare, do you want to feel tall? Do you want to feel stretched? Do you want to feel pretty? What do you want to feel? Okay? So that's like a cue word. It's a word that helps you to do the position the way you want to do it. All right? When you do the lever, are you feeling straight? Are you feeling long? Are you feeling tight? What do you want to feel in that position? Okay? Those will be your cue words. All right? In the handstand, are you going to be pushing? Are you going to be extending? Are you going to be tight, round, hollow, together, point? What do you want to feel in the handstand? The more efficient that you are with your words, if you just use 1, at the most 2, probably don't want to use 3, then your brain can grab onto it much faster. All right? It's simpler. It's clear. All right? So let's stand up and everybody do a handstand with a partner. Actually, you know what? Instead of, since we have 3 other adults here, let's make 4 groups. Actually, we have a 5th. Let's make 5 groups. Coaches, our job is to be very calm, slow, and quiet. All right, so I'm going to have a group, Randy and, oh, you have to go. Oh, never mind, Randy's got to go. All right, you guys say bye, Randy. All right, so I'm going to have a group right here. Are you guys going to be in my group? Okay, so is it Karina? All right, so we need a group with Karina, and we need a group with, is it Ann? Kevin? And Melissa, right? So we're going to spread out because, just get your groups a little spread out. So each one at a time, we're going to do the handstand in 6 positions. And then, girls, listen up. After you do it, okay, you do it slowly, you're going to hold each position for 2 counts. So, why don't you come in? What's your name? Judith? Jada? Charlie? Okay, arms up. Okay. Hold it. 1, 2. Now, when I'm counting, when she's holding it for 2 counts, she's like going to go, here, I feel here, she's going to feel her body position. And she's going to see, what is she looking at? This blue-gray muted colored carpet. So that's what she sees. Maybe she also kind of in her peripheral vision, she sees her toe. All right, it's what she feels, her position, and what she sees. Okay, now she's going to go to the lever, and I'm going to say 1, 2. She's going to feel her back leg exactly right here. It's not over here, it's not over here. It's exactly right here. And she's going to see, again, the carpet. Then she goes up to the handstand, and I say 1, 2. And she sees her hands probably, right? All right, come back down. So you're going to count to 2 in each position. When you're done, you're going to step back, and you're going to go. And you're going to visualize it. You're going to pretend that you're doing it. You're going to see it and feel it in your mind 2 times. So now you've done 3 repetitions. When you do it very clearly in your mind, then your brain can't tell the difference of doing a physical turn and a mental turn. Okay? So this is what we want to do when we're doing big skills. Lots of repetitions, but the body's tired, maybe somebody's nervous. Do a mental repetition. That's more, okay? Because you're actually experiencing it, but you're experiencing it in your mind, okay? All right, so if you want to watch, I'm going to do it here with Jada. And, but you're going to count 2 counts for each position. You're going to notice what you see. Say, I notice. Everybody say, I notice. I notice. What I see. What I see. And what I feel. What I feel. I notice. I notice. What I see. What I see. And what I feel. What I feel. Good. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to visualize it. You're going to repeat it 2 times in slow motion. Everybody say, slow motion. Slow motion. Again, ready? Slow motion. Say, I slow down. I slow down. That's very important, okay? Because in gymnastics, we're always rush, go, faster, faster. All right, here we go. Take a breath. Oh, and start with a breath. Everybody go. Okay. So coaches, that's up to us. Is that we say take a breath. That's up to us. That we help. Ready? Take a breath. If they lose, and coming out of it, you might lose your balance. That's okay. Just get to the position and then hold it. Just find the position, find it. Know exactly where the split is, and 1, 2, and up. Good. Notice your feet. Notice your body. Notice your arms. 1, 2, and good. And notice this foot. Notice your back foot. 1, 2, and find the position. That's okay. 1, 2, hold it. 1, 2. Sometimes we rush out of it. Don't go like this and then rush out of it. Okay, get to that finished position, hold it, and then step out, and then, okay, so now you step to the side over here and you visualize it 2 times in slow motion. Okay? All right, go ahead. All right, let's Hey girls, this is a quiet activity.
So much.
Don't look at me. Just pretend like you guys are all
All by
working.
yourself. See if you can
That's not something they visualize in class.
visualizations with
So calm. You're not. How dare you? Staring at me when I open my eyes. Did you even do it?
Yeah, I did it twice. I did it with Kevin and
Okay, who was able to visualize and it felt like it was very similar to what she did physically?
then all over falling.
Okay. And you were doing it in first person where it was you doing the handstand, right? Who here has taken any skill before and broken it down into positions like that? Good. Some of you, good. And who has visualized that skill in slow motion in each position? I know you have good. So less people. So here's the thing about slow motion visualizing, all right? When you do it in slow motion in your mind, you can be much more precise, much more exact with your positions. I've got my back. When you do it faster, it's a whole skill and it goes fast, and typically you're not in tune with the exactness of your hands, your arms, your tummy, your chin, okay? So you want to be very precise when you visualize. So you can visualize in slow motion, and then after you do that maybe 10, 20 times, you know, when you're just starting to do it, then you start to go into regular speed, okay? Now, sometimes a coach might say to you, if you're struggling on a giant swing or a series on beam, a coach might say, okay, we'll go visualize it. Has anybody said that to you before? Yeah? Okay. That happens a lot when somebody's struggling on a skill. When you're really learning to master, to really be able to visualize well, very distinctly, very precisely, don't start with skills that you're struggling on. Don't start with hard skills. Start with simple skills like a handstand or a forward roll or a cartwheel. Or for those of you who feel comfortable with back walkovers, do simple skills first because there's no emotion attached to it. You're not frustrated with it. You know that you already have it. So now you can really focus on the details. All right? So everybody write down, I visualize in slow motion. Okay? I visualize in slow motion. visualize. I visualize in slow motion. I see and feel every detail. I see and feel every detail. Okay, I visualize in slow motion. I see and feel every detail. If this is your intention, and coaches, this is very important to get in tune with them, okay? Say, what is your intention? All right? Sometimes coaches, our habit is just to tell you, do this, do this, do this. But it's important for us to sometimes ask you, what do you want? What do you want to feel? What is your intention? And that's not like a quiz that you're not supposed to like pass a quiz. It's just everybody to be on the same page. All right? I would like to feel the bottom of my swing. I would like to feel the bar come down on my toe hand. All right? I would like to feel the hollow as I'm falling for my giant swing. I would like to feel the stretch or the arch. I would like to feel a hard tap, okay, on my giant swing. All right? So when you're in tune, when coach and athlete are both together in tune with what you want to feel, they may then be able to say, that's good. Okay, let's do that this time, and then next time, let's feel the push, the locked out arms, the extension in the shoulders. When you're in tune with your body's position and what you want to feel, that's when you're more in control. All right, that's when you will get more consistent. All right? Okay, what is one skill that you would like to script right now? Write that down. Write down the skill that you would like to script. Something that maybe is not your hardest skill that you're struggling with, but something else maybe that you're doing. I mean, if you want to script your hardest skill, that's fine too. If you're doing, whether it's Tkachev, a full, double back, twisting gets a little bit tricky. I wouldn't recommend that for today. It could be a skill on any of them. It could be a vault, could be a bar skill, could be. We probably only have time to script one, but if you want, you can write down another skill and you can do it later. Okay? Girls, if you don't have Focused and on Fire, this teaches you how to do all these things, and there's real fun stories. I might read a story at the end. You guys want to hear a story? Honestly, whatever you want. If you want to write to do something you're struggling with. All right. What skill are you going to script?
A soup pike.
Pike soup, okay.
A side gainer off game.
Side gainer off.
Soup.
Say it again.
Soup tuck instead of
Soup tuck, okay.
The flick leg.
Flick leg, okay.
serious.
Right hand stick? Step out? Oh, is this on floor? Right hand spring, step out. Oh, you go forward and then backward. It's like forward and, okay, forward and backward. Very good. Okay, the one thing about connections, let me just say this, and coaches, you probably know this. When you're focused on the connection, I have to connect, I want to connect, dear God, help me connect. Then you're going to probably tense up. The idea is to get in the position that will help you connect. Okay, so if you're going front handspring, step out, and then you have to go from forward and then sit and then go backward. Is that right? Okay, so you want to know coming out, what is this position? Because you don't want to turn your hips out, right? You want to keep your hips square. What are your feet? And then when you sit, where are your hands? Or when they come forward, do you know this path that they're not doing this, right? You got to know exactly the path that they're coming. So when you're in tune with the positions, then you're not focused or distracted by just connecting, okay? It's the positions that will make you be able to connect, right? Same thing with bars when you're doing, toe hand to gotcha. Okay, so for yourselves, and if you want or need any help, let me know. Go ahead and break down your skill or combination into anywhere between 4 and 6 parts. You probably don't want to do more than 6, but you can. If you have 7 or 8, that's okay. All right? So usually there's obviously a beginning and a middle and an end of a giant swing, but I do like a giant, this is one example, from the start, you're vertical, so you're tight. Then you fall to like a quarter position, right? And then you're round at the bottom, and you arch, and you tap, and then you're up. So there's like 5 or 6 in a giant. Whatever you want. If you want to say the position, or if you want to say like to me, hollow is a position and flow. Okay? So whatever makes sense to you. Okay? And the red sheets and the doors as you can. And then put them in the order. list. It's like bullet points. It's a little bit more clear instead of like in the line and paragraph. Now the other thing is if there's a part of your skill that you want to be powerful on, or strong, or super split, okay? Maybe you want to even use an exclamation mark on that one, okay? If a certain part of a position is really important, like I might write in big capital letters, push, you know? So in my head, I hear my inner voice, and I emphasize that.
We're the same thing. All right, how did yours go? What do you want to include for the series results? Yeah.
I was kind of trying to start something that I'm not like mental. So, yeah, that's kind of why. Maybe I can don't really on that.
Oh, good at it. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Girls, what we're doing, and coaches, this is real important, is that we're actually taking some time to analyze our skills and the positions. All right? When we get in the gym, it's talk, 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 and it's more instructional. This is a time for girls, for you to think about your body, what you feel, the positions that you want to do. What is each of those positions in a whole skill? From beginning to end, a cartwheel, from beginning to end, beginning, middle, end, a back walkover. If you're combining skills, okay? Where do you want your hands when you set for a back tuck? Stand up, show me where you want your hands. When you jump and set for a back tuck. Right there, okay? So then you gotta know that feeling. They're not here, they're exactly there. You got to know exactly where that is. So that's what I'm emphasizing, is the exactness of the position. Okay? Is that you know what it feels like. Exactly where your hands are. Exactly where your chin is. Exactly how round. Am I this round, this round, this round? How round am I? What does that feel like? Okay, now you're not going to the event and doing the skill, but whatever you wrote down, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize each position, 2 counts each position, and you're going to do that 2 times. So everybody with me, take a big deep breath, inhale, and blow out. Eyes are closed. One more big inhale, inhale, and exhale. And say, I am calm. Say, I focus on each position. Good. Now go ahead and imagine doing your skill, each part, in slow motion. 2 times. And go. first person you were doing it. And raise your hand if you were able to do it in slow motion, every position that you wanted. Yeah. So, girls, this is very important. When I very first started visualizing, I was doing was trying to do a standing back tuck on a high beam and do it consistently. And I closed my eyes, and in my mind, I'm standing on the beam. I'm like, dude, I've got this. Standing on the beam, and I sit and I swing, and I jump up in the air. I start to tuck, and I'm in the gym, and all of a sudden, my body flies across the gym, and I land on top of the bars.
I do that.
This is very normal when you're starting to visualize. This is training. This is mental. Okay? It takes practice. All right? So you got to start with very simple skills, and you're training your mind. You're like let's say this is my brain. Brain, slow down. Brain, do a simple skill. Do that position. Just hold it. Okay? You're training your brain. So you have to just do simple skills and just hold a position in the air. All right. Everybody close your eyes for a second. All right? All right. Now you guys all know what the moon looks like up in the sky. The dark night, the stars, you see the white, round, full moon. Right? Now you guys have seen an astronaut, right? Now imagine that you are now an astronaut, and you are in the astronaut suit with the bubble head. All right? You're in a full-on puffy white with the U.S. flag on. You're inside the suit. It feels funny moving because you're inside this big, thick, fluffy suit, right, with the bubble head. Now you get inside a spaceship. You're sitting. You're buckled in. All right? They close the door, slam shut. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to fly to the moon. And now, boom, 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 explosion, kapow, and you go up toward the sky, into the universe. You're soaring in this spaceship, and zoom, you land on the moon. Now you're on the moon. And you open the door, and you step out in your spacesuit with your bubble head, and now you're on the moon, and you're walking slowly. You're like, dude, look at the stars all around me. I'm on the moon. And you turn around, you go, oh, dude, there's the Earth. That teeny tiny thing down there, that's the Earth. All right? Now open your eyes. Could you imagine any of that? Yeah. Tiny bit. And have you ever done any of that? No. Yes? You were at NASA? So here's the thing. Your mind is so powerful you can imagine anything. That's why we have like all the action adventure movies and Spider-Man and all the Incredible Hulk and we have all these crazy things because we can imagine. Your mind has no limits. All right? So you can imagine doing your skills. It just takes practice. All right? So don't give up. All right? It just takes practice. All right. What have you learned so far today? Raise your hand. For practice. Breathing and yes. That's in chapter 3. Mastering calm and concentration, how to breathe and relax. Very good. Instead of just the beginning of the skill and the end of the skill, or just the whole skill, it's part 1, part 2, part 3. It's positions. Okay? Same thing. Good. Any good reminders for you today? Confidence breeds confidence. Yes, little ones, little successes, little bits of confidence will breed more. If you focus on that, focus on what you're doing well. Focus on something that you feel good about. Yes, yeah. Yeah. Did you guys write that on your paper? Write big letters. Slow down. Okay, that's slowing down your mind. That's slowing down your breath. That's being in tune with your body. I know where my hands are. I know where my chin is. I know where my foot is. Okay? All right, we have like 7 minutes. So at the end, I've got about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going to talk to, I guess, your parents. Whose parents are coming? Do you know? Yeah. Not sure. Will they like me? Will we be friends and you'll hang out? All right, I'm going to try and get through this story quickly. If you would like, if you're interested in getting a book, I have plenty today, and your parents can buy them after I'm done here or after the parent thing, okay? Or you can get them online, okay? LisaMitzel.com. It's all on your sheet. If you guys ever think that you would like a couple sessions of mental training with me, my email is on your sheet. You guys can follow me on Instagram. Hey, if you're going to be on Instagram, I hope you're following people that inspire you, that make you feel good about yourself instead of the opposite. Okay? Who here likes watching the college teams? That's kind of fun, huh? All right, this is a story about when I coached at Stanford University. All right, this is called Map It, Believe It, Achieve It. We had 9 women on the team for the 95-96 season. It was a very small and young team. It was my first year as head coach at Stanford University for the women's gymnastics. In the history of the program, the whole existence of the program, they had only made it once to the national championships, and that was 4 years earlier. They wanted to break into that level again, yet talent was an issue. We weren't quite as talented as other teams. And worse than that, when they arrived for preseason training, I observed these young women, and they did not think or act like a top team. They lacked the confidence and drive and the grit, and I wanted to change that. As a college gymnast, I competed for the University of Utah. We were the best team in the nation. During my 4 years, we won 4 consecutive NCAA national championships. Under Greg Marsden, one of the winningest coaches in the country, I learned. We had extremely disciplined practices, killer conditioning, and consistent mental training with our team sports psychologist, Dr. Pete Henson. The mental training was powerful, and on top of that, Utah had fiercely determined athletes. Every gymnast I trained with was bold and sassy, and they had a vision of success. Greg urged us to be close as a team. He drilled us into the strongest and leanest bodies, and he led us and said we would be the fittest team. That's just a warning. The fittest team on the floor. And he said, and we will have focused minds and exact performances. And he also said, we will win. And we did. And I wanted to infuse that into Stanford. So in the fall preseason of training one day, I entered the Stanford gym with a map of the United States. We had talked, we had a team meeting, and we had talked about their goal and the team's goal to make it to nationals. So I unfolded the chart of the United States of America, and I showed it to the girls, and I said, here we are in California. And I tapped on Palo Alto, and then I said nationals this year, and I pointed way across the map. Nationals are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I folded my arms and I said, ladies, we are going to Alabama. Their eyes grew wide and they smiled, and I had a red marker and made a red dot where we were in Palo Alto and another red dot where we were going, Tuscaloosa. I tape the map on the wall in the gym right by bars. Every extra hard practice you do, we will draw a small red line toward Alabama. Every conditioning round, every bike circuit, every early morning aerobics, you will be stronger, more focused, and more disciplined than ever before. You will become a top team, and you will earn your way to Alabama. I felt my own determination buzzing in my body, and as the team looked at me and looked at the map, I could feel their energy. It was palpable. Over the following weeks, we drilled and drilled. Lots of basics, solid technique, perfect form, repetition, repetition. We broke down the gymnasts until they cramped and moaned, and it was exhausting and thrilling. And then we had team talks, intense talks, and they were asked to share personal challenges, doubts, and fears, and to acknowledge their own conflicts and struggles. The girls got to know each other deeply, and in kind, they supported each other in every way, and they pushed each other to overcome, to work harder, and to draw little red lines on the map and keep going and going. And the drive began. In the locker room, they kept a team journal, and they would write positive things and messages, inspiring messages to each other. In the winter, we started competition, and I said, now you need to tell someone 10 times a day, we're going to nationals. I said, a friend, a parent, a dog, anyone, just tell them you're going. And they paused and they got quiet. This isn't bragging, this isn't wishing. You are being assertive, you are taking action, and you are spreading positive belief. You are saying what you want and what you will do. They looked at each other and they were hesitant, but something stirred inside them. Soon, I had daily phone messages. Hey, Coach, we're going to nationals. Click. Coach, see you in Alabama. Hey, Coach, did you know we're going to nationals? Ha 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 ha. This is true. They left me all these messages. They took it seriously, and it was fun, and they started to become fierce and more confident. And they strutted into the gym, swinging their arms, feeling great, and they shared with each other who they were telling and who was excited for them and who believed in them. They kept marking red lines, red lines, red lines on the map, and they were building mental powers. They were beginning to believe. The season progressed, and we competed against all the top teams in the country, and we were not winning. It was not easy. We had to remind our Stanford gymnasts, the journey is a process. Keep your eyes on yourself. Keep your eyes on each other. Do not look at the other team. Just focus on your performance. And they listened, and they refocused. And soon we were breaking school records. Soon the judges started to notice that we were getting better, and the scores started getting higher, and this was evidence that we were emerging as competent competitors. In practice, we sat in a circle, and we imagined. Just like going to the moon, we talked about Alabama. What was Tuscaloosa? What was it like? What's the 2-hour time difference like? Southern culture. Which famous barbecue restaurant are we going to eat at? And we performed mock competitions. We imagined being there, and we were getting ready for the stage. As we approached NCAA regionals, the long red dotted line on the map from California to Alabama was complete. And when the team saw it in some way, it cemented all of their hard work. They had earned it. And by the time we arrived at regionals, the Stanford team had evolved. They had created courage. They would get calm and hold hands and take deep breaths together and slow down right before balance beam. They were going inward and connecting with each other, and they felt their own inner power. We were one of the most consistent beam teams that year. And finally, after 6 months of preparation, the night arrived at NCAA regionals. This was the qualifying meet to go to national championships, and I could feel the tension. They were a little nervous. After warm-ups, the 9 women were dressed in their sweats, It was time to march into the arena for competition, and we all gathered in a circle and put our hands in together. We did a big team cheer. 1, 2, 3, go Stanford, and they were ready. You may not believe it, but that night in competition, it wasn't about going to nationals. It wasn't about anything that was a result. It was about who they were as people, who they had become as athletes, and how they had matured as competitors, and who they wanted to be for each other. Stanford was amazing. With Athena-like valor, the gymnasts transcended. They flew high, nailed dismounts, and they peaked at regionals. And when it was all over, when the scores came in and they were double-checked, Stanford University had qualified to the 1996 National Championships. Stanford was going to Alabama. Yay! So I get a lot of comments about that story, and people will say, oh, we put a map on the wall. Or we said where we're going. But when you imagine what you want and you make it fun, okay, that's the thing, is that we get so caught up in having to be perfect and so caught up in having to get certain scores. But those are results. It needs to be a fun journey, okay? So I am so very delighted to be here and to work with you guys today. I hope that you got some good reminders and that this sheet will be very helpful for you, for just, again, little reminders. What do you think is most important for you in order to overcome some of your challenges or get your skills more consistent? Anybody?
Stop thinking negative thoughts.
Say it again.
Stop thinking negative thoughts.
Stop thinking negative thoughts. So that's very good. The fact that she just said that is very good. What you want to do is notice, because you're not ever going to completely stop. We're human beings, and sometimes we have negative thoughts. So really, it's just going, oh, I'm having that thought, okay? What do I want to focus on? What do I want to feel? Okay, it's what do I want? But notice that you're having the negative thoughts. And then you need to already have some positive thoughts ready. Okay, I'm strong, I'm fast, I'm funny. All right, whatever it is, but you need to have those ready. So you wrote down some positive things about yourself today. All right, everybody stand up. All right, say you're gonna, if you have them memorized, great. If you need your piece of paper or your journal, hold it up. You're gonna repeat your 3 positive statements. Okay, everybody at the same time. Okay, everybody at the same time. If you say like, I am smart, I am cool, I am great. Okay, whatever it is. All right, you're gonna just say it, just kind of quietly, okay, so you can hear yourself. Right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now close your eyes. Okay, remember, nobody else matters. All right? It's easy to be distracted. Nobody else matters. It's just you and your mind, you and your voice, you and your desire. Ready, and say it again. I'll take a big deep breath. Say, I am calm. I am in control. I have mental powers. Oh, open your eyes. Say, I have power. I have power. I have power. I have power.